Hi there and welcome back to Triplicate, home of interesting electronics. And today we're going to move on with refurbishing the tunnel light, the brass tunnel light for our narrowboat Bonnie Mary, replacing the old incandescent bulb set with LEDs. And last time we got this far. We've got three MR16 domestic LED bulbs ground down and chopped down so they fit in, and at the end of the last video I said I wasn't happy with this, and I'll try and explain why. Because if we undo it, and the threads are a bit funny, take that and that off, so these are not secured in. These are the three lights which I've ground two sides flat so they fit together, but these are currently stuck in against the gasket here, and I just know with vibration and temperature cycling and knocking about, which happens a lot on a narrowboat, that'll happen. So I think it's time for plan B. Take these out. So what I propose to do is take a piece of aluminium, which I'm going to have to cut down a bit, mount the LEDs on it, stick the LEDs on it, put these lens arrangements on top so the light actually points forward more. The one I did sort of pointed out the sides too much, it's too omnidirectional. Put the lens, the gasket and the bezel back on, and we're away. Now the only question about doing that is, will the LEDs get too hot like they did on my original one, which I showed you in the last video, where the LEDs have just overheated and the contacts have failed mainly. So what I propose to do, we want all that, is test using this one, which I haven't completely chopped apart, is to test how hot it gets. So I have a multimeter which, if I unplug the wires, takes a thermocouple, which I've never used before. It's still got the bit of wire around the thermocouple wire, so we'll take that off, and I plan to the thermocouple wire on there and stick it down with a bit of heat sink glue. And in the best traditions of Triplicate, I have some scrap bits of wood. I have a bit of wood with a bit of plastic on the front. I've used plastic so that it doesn't conduct any heat away, and let's fit it together yesterday. That on there, put a lump hammer on to hold it all in place, and I shall see how hot it gets with the heatsink on. Then I shall take the LED plate, I suppose you'd call it, off and see how hot it gets without that on. And here's Trevor the cat So I think at that point I will shut the video off, shut the camera off, connect all this together properly, connect some power to that, and we'll see how it does. Okay, so here we are all set up. The thermocouple firmly wedged against the LED plate. This is room temperature, saying 24 degrees C. Not entirely sure it's that warm. However, we're only in for a rough indication of how much the temperature rises. So here we go with the original heatsink arrangement. I connect up 12 volts and it turns on. It doesn't turn on. Alright, we better find out why. Oh, okay, it turns on. Bad contact. And we'll see what happens. So I think I'll turn the camera off and we'll just sit here and wait till that reaches a steady temperature. Okay, that's been at 39 degrees C now for a few minutes, so I think we'll call that steady, and sorry if the LED's blinding you. So now I will take off the heatsink and try it again and see what temperature it gets to just the plate on its own, the LED plate on its own. Right, so we now have the same arrangement with the thermocouple held onto the LED plate with a piece of plastic, which is all held firmly down with the weight of the lump hammer, and the LED plate is straight on this piece of wood, and I'm assuming the piece of wood is going to be a really terrible heat sink. So now we'll see what temperature it gets up to like that. It's still at 31, it hasn't cooled down completely from the previous experiment. So without further ado, I will put the power back onto it. Oh, and the LED comes on, that's good. And yes, the temperature's going up. Okay, well I will now turn you off again and turn you all back on when it's reached a steady temperature, or the LEDs have cooked, whichever comes first. Okay, so that's been running maybe 20 minutes, maybe a bit more, and it's topped out at about 60-61 degrees, and the LEDs are still on, still going, seem to be happy. So now we are going to try and attach the three of them to this aluminium plate, and we will see how hot that gets. And I'll bring you back then. So, we now seem to have a fair amount of detritus. So we'll try, I think, some sort of a tidy. Okay, so what I've done is I've put all the LEDs on the plate, roughly where they're going to finish up, well exactly where they're going to finish up, and I've extended the wires a little, just so I'm not fighting the electronics underneath the bottom. I've soldered all these three together, and if these stupid wires work, we'll get light. Okay, so the next job is to find the tube of heatsink paste, excuse the banging and crashing, which has been chewed by the dog, Minnie, and we're going to just put an extra dibble on each. It doesn't work terribly well after Minnie chewed it. Right, so that does. Squish those down. Like that, and we are going to put these two bits like that, so that one's supported, and those two we're not fussed quite so much. Check the wires are all, yep, none of the wires are on the bits of wood. So this one we are going to double more of this stuff. No, very big blob. Put the thermocouple in. And the big hammer on. So these two right, should we just try and shuffle this round so you can see them. There we go, these two I am going to put their lenses on. And weight them down with a big piece of metal which is downstairs. So I will shut you off and go and fetch it. Right, here we have a large chunk of metal, can't argue with that, and we put that on there just so those two are pushed down against the heatsink, and I realise you can't actually see anything now, however. Okay, so we need that, which is showing 26. So hopefully these somewhat erratic leads will work. And there we go. Just give my head. Yeah, all three are on. And it's not showing any temperature rise at all. So I am just going to flip that off and check that thermocouple. Sorry, finish my sentence. Check that thermocouple is actually held down onto the LED plate. It doesn't want to tug out, so we'll try again. Ah, there we go. It's only a sheet of aluminium. Can't be that effective a heat cigar. There we go, it's going right. So I will turn the camera off again and let that get up to temperature and we'll see where it goes. Right, so I've left that running maybe half an hour and it doesn't seem to want to go any higher than 43, which would do me just noticeably warm. About 43, plenty of places in the world, that's a summer's day, so I think we're going to be good. So I am going to start making it so it'll mount in the casing, the shell. So I've got to work out how to do that, because I don't think it'll fit as it is. So I'll probably bring you back when I've had some thoughts and pass them on to you all. So that's as I wanted assembled, pretty much. But unfortunately, as you can see there's a gap between the window and the gasket, and that's not going down any further. So we have to drop the plate down, but we take this apart with one hand, which I don't think I can. Take these off. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, edit alert. There we go. As if by magic. So that plate fits in there exactly. So I shall have to trim the plate down. But then turf the plate out. What is the plate going to sit on? The plate, I think, is going to have to be below. You see that lip tapers. Ding. And I don't know. So I might have to hold that lip plate somehow. Screwdriver. There, below the lip. But it's still got to be held in quite firmly. So these are pressing down on there to hold the LED. Sorry, these are pressing down. The lenses are pressing down on the LED plates to hold it all together. So I shall go and contemplate that one. So as a result of my contemplations, what I've decided is to make the final reassembly and testing a little video of its own. So I'm gonna wrap this one up here, and if you like the channel, please subscribe, leave a comment if you've got anything to say, thumbs up would be nice. So for now, it's goodbye from Triplicate, home of interesting electronics. Goodbye.